What's up, guys? It's election day, and I'm outside of the voting place today. And, I'm feeling conflicted. So, I just wanted to talk about it. This is the first election where I'm not going to vote for either of the two candidates. In the last two elections, I voted Democrat. I voted for Clinton, and I voted for Biden. And the reason I've always voted Democrat is because I don't believe in trickle-down economics. I don't believe in cutting taxes for rich people. I think it's about time that we have things like universal health care and, paid vacation. I don't want to beg my boss to get time off of work. I think education should be free, tuition free. And obviously by tuition free, I mean our taxes should pay for it. Instead of paying for stupid shit like, a wall on the border with Mexico or funneling money to foreign countries so they can murder innocent people, like a bunch of thousands of innocent Gazans who have been murdered by our tax dollars. I think that instead of all of that, our tax dollars should fund healthcare and schools and, things like that. Paid vacation, paid family leave. And so that's why I've always voted Democrat. But, and I've never voted Republican. I mean, I'm not going to vote for the party which does nothing but support rich people. And it's also a racist party, the Republican Party. I mean, you look at this presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, and the first thing he said in 2016 when he ran is that, immigrants are supposedly raping people. And he also said a bunch of stuff against Muslim people. I mean, I'm not stupid enough to vote for Donald Trump. But I'm not going to vote for Harris either. Because, first of all, as somebody who believes in those things like universal health care and, so on, Harris and Biden haven't even tried to put that in. And second of all, I feel guilty for voting for Biden, because that war, in the Middle East, at least 42,000 people have died, with the majority of the people being dead, women and children. That's not a war, that's a massacre. Okay, because the women and children are not combatants, so they're just straight up bombing Gaza. And, there's a lot of fucked up stuff happening around the whole world, but this is like the one messed up thing that our government, my tax dollars, are funding. And I'm not going to let my tax dollars fund that anymore. At least I'm not going to vote for it. So that's how Harris lost my vote. She did absolutely nothing to stop the government of Israel from killing Palestinians. And just to be clear, I'm also sympathetic to all of the Israeli people who died. That was a terrible attack, last year, but that doesn't mean you can just massacre a bunch of innocent people. I think in the last 2 days, like 50 children have died in Gaza from bombs. Were those children terrorists? I mean, what bullshit. So the Democrats lost my vote from that. I can't in good conscience vote for somebody who supports genocide. So I'm going to write somebody in today, and that's Cornel West, because he supports all of those things I talked about, universal health care and paid family leave and vacations and he supports our tax dollars going into things which actually help Americans. And at the same time, he's against this genocide in Gaza. He's not bought out by special interests. So I'm going to vote for him. He's obviously not going to win because he's third party. But it'll be a message to the Democrats that I'm done picking between two shit candidates. In the last two elections, I voted for Clinton and Biden because Donald Trump is an absolute garbage, trash human being. And people who vote for him, I do not understand why they vote for him. They say that Donald Trump helped our economy. Did he help our economy? I mean, what did Donald Trump do during his presidency? He cut taxes for rich people. He put out a tax plan which cut taxes for rich people and either kept taxes the same or even raised taxes for people in the lower classes. That's called trickle-down economics. What I mean by that is you give more money to rich people and hope that their success will trickle down on poor people. It's bullshit. It's stealing money. And if you're cutting taxes from rich people, who makes up for it? Either you raise taxes on poor people or you start cutting social welfare, like welfare, food stamps, things like that. Things which poor people need to survive to try and get a shot at this American dream. So, again, Donald Trump, not going to get my vote. The Republican Party, never going to get my vote. It's out of the question, but the Democrats lost my vote too. So, I hate to do this, because I'm basically throwing my vote away by voting for a third party. But listen, if Donald Trump wins, it's the Democrats' fault. Because, first of all, they didn't do anything about Gaza. Okay? And second of all, Joe Biden should not have been the candidate this year. Kamala Harris should not have been the candidate this year. Bernie Sanders should have been the candidate this year. And Bernie Sanders should have been the candidate in 2020. And Bernie Sanders should have been the candidate in 2016. And I would have voted for Bernie Sanders, and a million other people would have voted. Not a million. Millions of other people would have voted for him, and he would have won those elections. But the Democrats, despite their name, are basically, when it comes to choosing presidential candidates, they're not democratic. They just shove people in. First, they shoved Hillary Clinton into our face. Then it was Joe Biden's turn. And then now it's his vice president's turn. It's bullshit, So the Democrats, they lost my vote. All right. And I'm going to write in Cornel West. And I still don't want Donald Trump to win. But if he wins, it's your fault, Democrats. It's your fault. And hopefully in 2028, you guys will put out a better candidate. All right.